If you didn't understand before, I hope you understand now. Because you're now listening to the We Talkin Podcast brought to you by Island Girl Team. This podcast, we are literally talking about every and anything with your girl, Camila Gomes. So subscribe from wherever you get your podcast and get ready to talk. Welcome to the fourth episode of the We Talkin Podcast. And for today's episode, we're going to have a little fun today and we're going to be talking about basketball. So I have two guests with me this afternoon. One, we have Zach, who is my friend here at WSU, and we are just casual basketball fans. And he's a big fan of the OKC Thunder, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and of course, the OSU Cowboys, and naturally the WSU Shockers. And then my next guest is Shamar, who's also my big friend that we talk basketball about. He's just your regular basketball fan, but is obsessed with fantasy league. So now we're here. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So like I said, this one is going to be fun. We're going to have some type of structure, not too much structure. We're going to just be ranting. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about the NBA. And to start off, this season is completely different than any season we've witnessed in our 20, 21, 24 plus years living on this earth. Because, well, we are also in a pandemic. And while last season they finished it in the bubble, this season they decided to do it outside with people who have COVID. And it's been interesting. So what are you guys' feelings on this COVID season that we've been dealing with?
Oh, Zach, you want to go first?
It's just really interesting to see how far it's come. I think we're close to the midway point and it's still going strong. Obviously, it's not going as well as other seasons, but it's going better than I and probably a lot of other fans, thought it would go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically all I have.
True. Shamar?
To be honest, there were a few points in the season where I was concerned that they may have to shut it all down because there was like a point towards the middle of the early part of the season. If you know what I'm talking about, maybe around January, February. Well, February, no. So like the early part to the middle part of January, there were a few players who had to be out because they caught COVID, and then there were other players who had to be out because they were in contact with people who got COVID, and there was just one point where it was a lot of them at once. So the big concern then was that if it continues on that trend and it keeps picking up, that they may have to shut down the full season, or they may have to try to walk their way into some kind of bubble system again. But at this point, it seems that, that has kind of been staved off a bit. They're able to do well and they're looking strong, as Zach said. So, so far, so good, it seems. So we hope that we'll continue on an upward trend of, less and less cases as we go.
That is very true. And how do you guys feel about certain arenas still don't have any fans? So they're pumping in that artificial sound. Do you guys still feel it's weird just watching games and is the random cheers that sometimes doesn't align what is happening? I just feel confused sometimes.
I'd rather have that than actual fans being there, honestly, because as much as I loved going to Thunder games when I could go to Thunder games, I know that me being there could harm one of the players, and that could put a harm on the season. But I think that it's just really made the people who work there think outside of the box about how we can make this a fun atmosphere for the fans at home and also the players and stuff like that. Because even though there are some places that don't have any fans, there are some places that do have fans, as we saw in Atlanta. But yeah.
Yeah, so for me personally, it's I agree with Zach. I rather an artificial sound than the risk of anybody contracting COVID and increasing the spread. As for the arenas that have actual fans back in, I see it as very risky because we're still a long way away from properly controlling the pandemic. But there are pros and cons to allowing fans back in the arenas, and if that's the decision they make, that's the decision. But as for me, I don't find it particularly strange still having the artificial sounds in some arenas because I understand the circumstances, and I've always been fine with the decision. I just found it cool that that's the middle ground that they found in a situation where they deemed it unsafe to have fans present. So it's all right for me. It's not an issue.
That's true. That makes sense. And while we talk about like the season, we could go into the team, like the different teams. And like I think one of the biggest storyline this season is the Brooklyn. I almost said New York Nets. That's weird. The Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Right. And we have Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. Literally 3 very, very, really good Hall of Famer basketball players on one team with no defense. Like, how do you sit down and watch Nets games? Like, do you just scratch your head, try to figure out what's happening? Do you like make bets on like, are they gonna score 160 points? Like, what is the thought process sitting down watching a Nets game? Like, how do you feel?
I think if you're a Nets fan, you're fine with giving 150 points up if you're scoring 152. So, you gotta live with it. You gotta live with it.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I mean, you know the old saying that some coaches and some basketball fans having is that defense wins championships. When they get a team like the Nets, it's not even about keeping the other team down. It's just about scoring more, right?
Exactly.
So to me, it's kind of funny. It's almost like watching the All-Star game, every Nets game, where it's just an exhibition of shooting. Who can score the basketball the best for the most part? But it's kind of fun to watch. But at the same time, you wonder about the longevity of it because you don't know for sure if they can necessarily keep up such high scoring performances that are enough to outscore the other team on a nightly basis. So.
Yeah, I've noticed that, and I remember. So I watch a lot of SportsCenter. I have no life. That's all I watch is SportsCenter. And I remember actually a stat stating that the Nets tend to the last games they've won since James Harden been added. Those games they've beat like the top teams. But the games that they've been losing are like teams that like either at 500 or under 500. So it's like, what's the psychology of it all? Like, it's just like, are you not willing to shoot as much with these smaller teams because you're thinking you might be able to stop them? Or like, I don't know, man. The Nets are strange, and the Wizards, like. So I want to say free Bradley Beal, but I respect him, and he's like, no, he wants to stay.
He wants to stay.
So you gotta respect his decision, but then it's also like Washington is just a mess.
Yeah.
I don't know what direction they're going into because obviously they're not making the playoffs, and even though Bradley Beal is going to do great, the trade market value for him is high, even though he wants to stay. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded, or they might do a sign and trade just because he understands he's not going to win anything there. And it's crazy because I'm a Thunder fan and a Timberwolves fan, but I'm still not the worst team in the league. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a really tough and weird situation for him. I respect the loyalty to the team and to the city. I think that's really noble of him. But of course, his eyes are on the prize every season. He wants to be able to win a championship. It doesn't look like that can happen for him anytime soon. Which is just really sad and unfortunate because, I mean, they've had some good talent over the years. And I just don't understand why the situation is the way it is. Why, he's such an offensive machine. He puts out such a high level of performance consistently. Literally one of the best scorers the NBA has ever seen. But his team just falls short almost every single time. It's pretty crazy. And I hope for better for him. Um, I would hope that if he wants to stay and he does stay, the situation could improve around him such that he actually has a real chance of being on a winning team. But, I really don't know what's going to come up.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he is the top scorer in the league right now. And his team is way under 500. So it's a weird situation. And one more team I want to look into before we start talking about our faves. The storyline with the Warriors is so great. I think everyone just, I guess, remembered, or Steph put in perspective to just remind everyone that this man did win championships and was an MVP, and is the best 3-point shooter of basically all time, and will pass Ray Allen eventually. And is you watch a Warriors game and you're just like, they have interesting, an interesting combination of players. And when they started off, Shamar and I was actually talking about it. We used to trip on Kelly very bad because Uber was just doing things that I was just like, is this the same person from the season before?
I had Oubre and Wiggins on my fantasy team at the beginning of the year, and then yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was rough. Yeah.
But
the thing is, I actually wanted to draft Oubre, right? And
yes.
Cam knows this because she was on a call with me at a time where my league's draft was going on. And I wanted to draft Oubre. And the person with the pick right before me picked Oubre before I did. And I was upset. But then, 4 weeks into the season, I'm like, this is fine. That's okay. You can have him.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Oubre, great player, just rough start.
It was so rough. I was just in my head, I was sad because I used to defend this man all the time. I'm like, yeah, this is a great player, XYZ. And then he just came out embarrassing me. And I was just like, okay. But now he has got himself together. And it's
looking a lot better now. And I'm happy for him. But I am not sad about him not being on my team at the beginning of the season.
Same, it's just one of those things that I want to root for him because he's a former Thunder legend, and I think that he can turn it around if he wants to help Steph maybe win another ring, because Steph's numbers right now are almost identical to his 2016 numbers, which is when he won his MVP unanimously. So they got the pieces. It can happen,
Also, Zach throwing Thunder legend, Kelly wasn't a Thunder player for 2 days before he got traded
Thunder
to the Warriors.
Legend. He's a Thunder legend.
We didn't even get the chaotic Shai and Kelly walk-in outfits. That is what I feel so robbed of.
That would have been too powerful.
Robbed, the
league wouldn't know what to do.
They really
You're by drone.
Exactly.
Honestly and truly. So, since we're talking about the Thunder, Zach, how do you feel about the Thunder right now?
I feel really good. I think we're in a great position because even when we lose games, I'm not affected. We have so many draft picks that it's all good. And then when we win games, it just helps our players boost their value. So if we want to get more draft picks, we could trade. We could trade Darius Bazley if we want. We can trade Lou Dort if we want.
Get this man in the front office now.
Thank you.
I will call Sam Presti, be like, hey, I have someone that can work in your front office and get you more draft picks.
Me and Sam been talking. He knows what I'm thinking, and he knows that even when we lose, we still win because we just look good. Thunder look really good. The losses, there haven't been that many bad losses. I think last night should have been a win, but aside from that, there haven't been really bad losses. Our losses have been really hard fought. Yeah,
that's true. You guys think you think you still could get Cade Cunningham? Keep him.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna keep Cade Cunningham in Oklahoma.
Yeah, we could, if we really want to, we can do it. But you never know what Sam Presti's thinking. You know, Sam Presti, he feeds off of those mid-round picks, those just outside the lottery picks. You know, people like Serge Ibaka, people like Steven Adams. You know, so who knows what that man's thinking? But
that is true. That is true. Shamar, your favorite teams are the Boston Celtics, boo, and the Phoenix Suns. How do you feel?
Don't disrespect the Celtics again, first and foremost. Thank you very much. Tied for the most NBA championships. Thank you very much.
With the best team ever.
No, of course it will be this beat. You know, you have a Celtics fan and a Lakers fan, but at least we have common ground with the Phoenix Suns.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. I do like the Suns.
As a fan of both teams, and I picked up the Suns recently, as you know. But as a fan of both teams, casual fan again, mind you, but as a fan of both, it's a really good feeling to see them both performing quite well through the early part of the season and looking like they can really keep it up going forward. It's great to see, you know, a lot of young talent on both teams. A lot of people who can build up these franchises over the course of, you know, the next few years, assuming most of them stay, which I think they can. You know, a lot of them are showing that they all fit very key roles that can be around long term. So, you know, I'm hoping for the best for them. When everybody stays healthy and continues to play to the best of their abilities. It's really looking good for both teams.
That's good. That's good. And the Suns? The Suns said, bubble what? We're just actually really good. Y'all just been sleeping on us. We're doing really good.
I mean, sorry.
No, continue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, at first I didn't know how to feel about, you know, them no longer having Oubre, you know, the whole Valley Boys get up. You know, it was kind of sad to see him go. But then picking up Chris Paul has been working out very, very well for the team. So, you know, just letting it happen. And
anytime you pick up a Thunder legend, it's gonna be good.
I knew that was coming.
There was so much talent that passed through that Thunder team in the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
It is crazy. It's sad that we don't have anything to show for it, but you know, real fans know, and that's all that matters.
You can always say Thunder legend under every tweet. It would be great.
Honestly, yeah. There's not one team in the league that doesn't have at least 2 or 3 Thunder legends on it. Yeah.
There you go.
That is so true. Oh wow, that is very true. Wow. But circling back to the Suns, that Chris Paul pickup was really good. They still call themselves the Valley Boys, which is weird because I still feel like that was just like a Oubre. Yeah,
they had that man modeling the jerseys and everything. And
it's just it's weird. But check in for my team. We gotta love the Los Angeles Lakers. NBA champions. Okay. We're number 2 in the West because Utah is just randomly really great right now. We're gonna come back to Utah after this. But
if Utah gets a championship, now
we're coming back to Utah. But
all right.
My only stress with the Lakers right now, why did we have 3 back-to-back overtime against teams that we should have not be overtime with? And then last night we played the Grizzlies, which is a really good team, but the Grizzlies had them 22-2 in the first quarter. The opening minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I was like, this is embarrassing. What? You guys are... Anyways, we end up winning by a great amount of points, but it's okay. I'm going to be... when it comes to the Lakers, I'll be those fans be like, regular season doesn't really count. Which it really does. But for the Lakers, I'm like, regular season doesn't count. We'll figure it out in postseason. We'll be fine.
The craziest thing is mentioning that Clippers game where you were down 22-2, you said it was?
It was a Grizzly game.
It was a Grizzly game.
Yeah, night.
So you lost that Grizzly game?
No, we won the Grizzly game. But we started off 22-2. They scored 22 straight points.
Right. I thought you mentioned something about the Clippers. My bad.
No.
But anyway, Anyway, that's still bad on the part of the Grizzlies to have you down by 20 points in the first quarter like that and then still lose the game by a large margin. So what were the Grizzlies doing?
I don't think they have like those players that are very what's the word, like seasoned. Like they have players like last year they had players like Jay Crowder that, you know, could, I'm not gonna say put the team on their back, but could lead you to keeping a high lead like that. They don't have that no more. So
now we have Jay on the Suns, so hey, they take it.
Exactly.
Is he not like messing up your 3-point percentage on fantasy at this point?
It depends. It depends. Some nights he can shoot the 3-ball really well. Other nights I'm like, I wish I did not have Jay on the starting lineup. But you know, it's fine. He plays an important role on my team. He's not the most consistent, but sometimes he really does come in clutch. So I'm not complaining about Jay Crowder.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's talk about those Utah Jazz.
Wait,
what are they doing? Yes.
Camilla, I just want to say that this season, LeBron James is shooting 9 for 22 when Lou Dort is guarding him. Just saying. Just saying. 9 for 22.
You see, right?
You just had to plug that one in there.
Yeah, like, I'm just want to say that the only reason that stat has an effect on me is because LeBron is a member of the Los Angeles Lakers at this moment.
LeBron is on my fantasy team.
Great. So we don't like when they play OKC. We gotta love Lou Dort though. Defense.
Yeah, you got to.
Got to love him. But you know, let's say if this was like LeBron James on any other team, I would have been like, ha, that's rough. But as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers, that's painful. So thanks for bringing that up.
Anytime.
So then we just go to the Utah Jazz, number 1 in the league.
So I just did a quick look up, you know, the inner sports analyst in me. And the last time that the Utah Jazz won conference titles, well, the only times actually that they won conference titles were in 1997 and 1998. So we might be seeing the 97 and 98 Jazz all over again. You think they could make a championship run? I know you should be asking the questions, but
at this point, we are all asking questions. If I think they can make a championship run, honestly, if they could beat the Nuggets, because I believe the Nuggets is their kryptonite. If they could beat the Nuggets in the playoffs, I think that's it.
It also depends on what Nuggets team we're going to see. Like, is Jamal Murray going to be, you know, bubble Murray, or is he going to be injured, or is Jokic going to actually give effort on both ends, or is he just going to worry about offense? And the bench players and role players will step up, or you know, I think that's the big question you got to ask about those like mid-conference teams. Yeah, is Michael Porter Jr. even going to play? Like, you know, those mid-conference teams like the Nuggets, the Jazz, the Mavericks, you know, Trailblazers. You got to ask yourself, what team are you looking at? You know, so
that's true. Because
but they're looking really good though. Really.
Yeah, they're hitting shots. I mean, it's the biggest thing.
Happy for Mitchell for sure.
Facts.
He's been balling for some time. Not even just this season. He's been balling out for a while. So it'll be great to see him be able to make a championship appearance with that team. But we'll see how that goes. You know, like, they're looking really, really good.
Like, imagine like a Utah Jazz versus
Boston Celtics.
Nah.
Philadelphia.
Like Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I knew that one was coming.
Like, imagine that as like the finals.
Yeah, that would be a good. I think that'd be very refreshing to see. You know, two teams that you really. Let's say 5 years ago, you wouldn't have expected these two teams to be to be finals contenders. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a good change.
Whew. That's crazy. And the fact that it's like everyone on the Jazz is playing really good. Like Jordan Clarkson, that redemption, whatever is happening, I don't know what is happening in Utah that is good for Jordan Clarkson, but Utah is working for Jordan Clarkson. Let's just put it like that. Like,
yeah.
And the thing is, he was never really. I wouldn't never consider him as like a bad player. It's just like I feel he just wasn't taking the game serious.
Yeah,
but I guess
think like when people like Jordan Clarkson and D'Angelo Russell, when they came into the league, a lot of people didn't think they took the game seriously.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just because of the era or what, but they didn't really take it. They didn't seem like they took it seriously.
Yeah, and then also LA and all the distractions that LA has to offer.
Right.
Jordan Clarkson was with like 3 Jenners. I know it's only 2, but he was with at least one of them. So
that's he went to Utah. There's nothing out there. Like, go
Mormons.
Exactly.
He just got to focus on the sport.
Exactly.
I will not be slandering Utah. You know, I'll just put it out there. I'm not slandering anyone out there. You guys said it, not me.
I'll slander Utah. Utah is weird.
Utah's very weird.
Utah is very weird.
All the way around. Put that on the record. Utah is very weird.
Utah is very weird.
Wow.
And we live in Kansas. So
yeah. You really got to be weird for me to say you weird.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Definitely. So with that, like, I believe Jordan Clarkson might be the 6th man of the year. Who you think is a good 6th man of the year candidate or person?
Yeah, I think Jordan Clarkson has it in the bag. There's not really many 6 men that are like doing anything too amazing, really.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers took all the good 6 men, so you know.
Yeah.
We do have Schroeder and Harrell, so yes, that is true.
I personally don't want to delve into this question too much as the very casual fan in the conversation. I won't argue with you guys at all. Right? I think if you guys think he has it in the bag, we'll go with that. Yeah.
You don't have like another name that we're probably not thinking about.
You know I want to plug in Chris Boucher right here. you
okay.
know, he's been doing pretty well again. I can really talk about all the players I have on my fantasy team for sure because they're the ones that I'm seeing most closely. You know, seeing their performances on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. You know, I'm really tuned in with those players. But Chris really has been. He really has been showing up this season. He had a period of, you know, falling off a bit again, but then he started to pick back up his gameplay once more. So he is really one who's worth paying attention to now. And if he can keep the high level of play up for the rest of the season and into next season, we might see him get, you know, an expanding role with his team or maybe on another team eventually. I think he's somebody to look out for. I don't know if he'll necessarily be able to win 6th man of the year. But he's definitely a 6th man who's showing that he deserves minutes. He deserves to be on the floor.
Facts. That is big facts. And I hope they play him more than he's playing right now for sure. Rookie of the year. And why is it LaMelo Ball?
Look, see, I am glad even me as a casual fan was gonna say, well, I think we'll have to go with LaMelo. Right. Yeah. So that's a unanimous opinion for us. He's been playing the sport.
And he looks good with it too. Like,
it's
fun to watch.
He's been coming off the bench and leading his team consistently off the bench. You know, he's been contributing on both sides of the floor. You know, he had a triple-double game at the youngest age ever. And
that's crazy.
It's just the man is playing ball. What can I say? No pun intended, but he's doing it. He's doing it. Yeah. It's on the jersey. He has no choice.
I just catch on. Oh my gosh. I think 2nd place though might be Tyrese Halliburton. The dude on Sacramento.
Yeah.
The rookie on Sacramento. I think he would be like a solid second place just because he's just been, I don't know. Every time I go on Sacramento Instagram page is some meme about him saying he can't shoot.
I hope whoever runs the social media for the Kings listen to this podcast and they'll be very happy to hear that. And they'll probably post something about it.
I will be very thankful for that. That'll be great. Be like, thank you, Kings. We love your social media. I do like the Kings though. They're pretty
good. Yeah, the Kings have won the NBA championship for social media presence.
Oh yeah,
I just put it that one on there. They have won. There's no team in second place or third. No. The Kings have all three of the top spots.
Yeah.
That is true. Their social media is great. And it doesn't help that their players aren't funny. They have Hassan Whiteside. So that's automatic content for your social media right there. Because he's always doing something ridiculous. Like, it's just like...
I follow him on Snapchat and it's just the funniest stuff ever.
He's just hilarious. And like... This is a site. I like how we went from Rookie of the Year to the Kings, but
we could go back.
I was saying there was one snap when they were playing in Miami, and Buddy Hield, our Bahamian king, I rep all West Indians in the league. So he got them. I don't remember what exactly the drink is, but it was like a Bahamian like soda juice or whatever, and he literally bought it for like the whole team, and he just stood up in the middle of the plane, watching them take a sip about it. And Hassan was recording it. I think so. You have it?
I have one that I got as a gift, right? And this might sound weird, but I never opened it. It's just been sitting there well over here. I have never
Oh my gosh.
It's not that I didn't want to, but it just became a souvenir that I didn't want to get rid of. So now it's just there. But the issue is it's a soda. It's gonna go the same. If it has the time in it.
And you acting like Anguilla ain't hot. That's it gone bad long time.
I think that's a gourmet punch. Yeah, I have one. I have that I'll never drink at this point.
Yeah. So he made the whole Kings do it, and Hassan had that on camera, and it was just funny. I was just like, wow. But anyways, back to Rookie of the Year. LaMelo Ball 1. Tyrese 2.
I think if James Wiseman was just like consistent, he would be my 2, because in my fantasy league I was like rough with centers. Like I had Karl-Anthony Towns, DeMarcus Cousins, and another center that was just hurt. And I was like, I need to pick up a center, so I had to get him for free agency, obviously. And James Wiseman was like doing good at the beginning of the year. So I picked him up, and then he went on this stretch where he was just terrible. So I had to drop him. But then, like a week or two later, he was doing good again. And I'm just like, I need you to make up your mind, because you could easily be the second, like number 2 for Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
That's crazy. And I think he mashed up his hand the other day there too. So that's crazy.
Funny.
It's just crazy.
It's not good at all. Also, Anthony Edwards looks really good.
He does, though.
Him and LaMelo were going back and forth last night. Not last night, other night, something like that. They just look really good.
I think like with the Wolves, so there's another side rant about the Wolves. The Wolves have so many people I do not know. Like I can list everyone that I know on the Wolves on one hand. So it's Karl-Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Ricky Rubio. That's not even a starting. That's not even a starting 5. Not okay.
Got. Oh, dang.
Exactly.
I think Alex Len is on the team.
He got traded.
Hernan Gomez, maybe. Hernan Gomez maybe on the team.
You know what?
Maybe.
Jared Culver is on the team. I know that for a fact.
I'm going to pull up the roster. Because
a Wolves game is an episode of who he played for.
Yes, literally.
Listen, when I say I'm a Timberwolves fan, I really mean I'm a Karl-Anthony Towns fan. So yeah, that's why I couldn't name.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yes. If load faster, please. Thank you. Okay. So you have I know Malik Beasley. I've heard his name
Oh yeah,
a
Malik
good
Beasley.
couple of times.
He's good.
Right? We have Jared Culver.
Right. Ed Davis.
Yes, that's the name I never heard before until that one game they were playing the Warriors. I was like, who is Ed Davis? Anthony Edwards, Ashton Higgins.
I don't know who that is. Can't even lie to you.
Wow.
Hernan Gomez.
Yes.
Yeah. Juancho.
Jake Lehman.
He really came through when Carl Anthony Towns was like gone for a month. He came through.
Jaden McDaniels.
He's alright. I don't really like him.
Jordan McLaughlin.
He's alright.
Jalen Noel. Josh. Okogie.
Shout out to Nigeria. Josh Okogie. Yes.
Naz Reid, Ricky Rubio, D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, and Jarrett Vanderbilt.
Team of
great. And I know the associate head coach, David Vanderpool. He's from the Virgin Islands. That's how I know him. And his last name is Vanderpool. So he related to somebody that we know at this point, Shamar.
Might be my cousin. Who knows?
Might be your cousin self. I don't think I related to any Vanderpools. No, I don't think so. But
I don't think I'm related to any that I know of either, but there could be a common link in there somewhere.
So there we go. That's our cousin. David Vanderpool is our cousin. You heard that on record right here.
Oh my gosh.
On record. Okay, cool. And so then we're gonna talk about most improved player. I'm kind of stuck on that one.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
All throughout the bubble,
mm-hmm.
all I heard was Lou Dort cannot shoot the three. First round of the playoffs, that man lit it up from behind the arc.
True.
I thought, all right, once you get back to Oklahoma City, it's gone. Nope. Man, still hitting threes. Not that good, but at a better rate than what people would think. And he still got some defense. Come on, give us a Lou Dort. Give it to Lou Dort. Shout out to Arizona State. Shout out to Canada.
No, shout out to Arizona State. They didn't accept me, so don't shout out to Arizona State. They declined my application when I applied to them, so
no shout out to
I'm still salty at Arizona State. That's okay. It's cool.
Oh, well, sorry about that. I had a phone call, so I stepped aside, but we're talking about most improved, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's your most improved player?
Well, should I talk about Chris Boucher again?
No, you were going there.
Because, no, for real though, Chris Boucher, he is real. I really think, he's showing a level of performance now that we hadn't seen before. In fact, I'll admit, I didn't even know who this guy was before this season. I came to know Chris Boucher. I was doing research on who I should be looking out to draft for my fantasy team. And I saw him as one of the potential sleepers of this season. And he ended up being my last pick. And it's a 14-team league. It's a 14-team league, and he was my last pick. And he is performing better than a lot of people's 10th and 11th pick. Sometimes at one point he had the number one position ranked for power forward. So, he has really been playing very well, exceeding a lot of expectations. His name is really out there now. People are paying attention to him, and that's a big improvement. I think another contender for most improved is Christian Wood. I don't know if you guys mentioned him.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, Christian Wood has also been performing very, very well, and he might actually be more likely to win that award than Boucher would be, because I think his performance has been more consistent and more high level. But those two are my mentions for most improved.
Yeah, definitely Christian Wood, and I think he might get it more on the of that story that came out a couple months ago that everybody was like, oh, his ex-girlfriend broke up with him when he didn't get drafted, and now look at him making money and the Rockets.
I am glad that happened. I am glad she left, She was true to her energy and her intentions. And that's important. And she got out of his way, and he is thriving and flourishing. Kudos to her for making that decision. It was the best thing she could do. I am thankful.
I am weak. Oh my gosh.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
That's how you ended off right there. Happy Valentine's Day.
The fact that this is dropping Monday after Valentine's Day just makes it even better. What was saying? Okay, I don't think he most improved because I don't think he plays enough or is looked at enough. But Josh Hart, I might be biased because I do love that 3 group of guys that came from the Lakers that are now playing for the Pelicans. I might be slightly biased. I do love Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and Josh Hart. But Josh has some really, really good games. Like, for like those wins, Josh had like a double-double in like the last couple wins for the Pelicans. And then he's also engaged to a Trinidadian. So let me just put that in there as well as a reason why he should be most improved. Like, no basketball reasons whatsoever. Just that his future wife is a West Indian woman. I think that's gonna go most improved. I don't have it here, but before we go to MVP, who is your coach of the year? And it can't be the coach of your favorite team.
It can't be the coach. What if my favorite team has a coach of the year?
Do you think so?
Well, I'm not one to speak on coaches. To be honest, again, I will let you guys handle this part of the conversation because I am too casual of a fan to analyze coaching. Quite honestly, I'll let you take it.
Not to go back, but I will say I think Jeremy Grant, former Thunder legend, should be in most improved talk.
You know what? Yes, put some respect on Jeremy Grant.
He's good.
And shout out to Simba who might be listening to this. He's a big Jeremy Grant fan. But yeah, Jeremy Grant has been doing a thing. Yeah. And I also respect his decision for where he decided to play at too. He said he wanted to play in a black city for a black coach, with a black front office. So, it's Black History Month in the US, so I just had to plug Jeremy Black Power Grant in there. One thing.
But who we on coach of the year?
Mm-hmm.
I think right now has to be Quinn Snyder of Utah. We talked about Utah. We talked about how well they're doing, and I think as of right now, Utah would be. I mean, Quinn Snyder would be my number one. Maybe Doc Rivers in Philadelphia as well. Usually, first year new coaches get it, so I would assume that Doc Rivers would be a front runner. And trying to think of one more.
Former Celtics legend.
True.
True.
It doesn't work like that though.
No.
Sorry.
Only Thunder legends.
Yeah.
Only Thunder legends.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think those are the 1 and 2.
Those are 1 and 2
for me. Yeah, I can't think of a third. No one's doing. I mean, I guess Mike Malone maybe.
No, the Nuggets are in the know.
What if I pose a question here that's the exact opposite of coach of the year? What do you think of the opinion? Not my opinion, mind you, but an opinion that I saw that Steve Nash can't coach.
Okay, right. I wouldn't say.
Hey, right.
How to put it this way? I would say Steve Nash has the potential to draw up plays. Does he have control of his locker room? That's another question, because we do have Kyrie Irving, who's a very vocal person, and there's people probably respect Kevin Durant more than they respect Steve Nash. So they might lean a little bit more. And then with James Harden, I think he listened to Mike D'Antoni quicker, then he probably listened to Nash as well. So
a lot of internal politics, you think?
Yeah,
it's not that Steve Nash isn't a good coach per se. He's just not in the best situation for a new coach.
Yes,
I think it's hard because we have a team like Brooklyn Nets. Mm-hmm. No matter what happens, they're gonna say you can't coach. When Steve Kerr was on the Warriors, they said he couldn't coach. When Eric Spoelstra was coaching LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, they said he couldn't coach. Mm-hmm. But I think you got to look at it from. Yeah, he has 3 great players that are gonna be able to lead the team with or without a good coach. But at the same time, you got to know A, how many minutes you're playing a player. B, where you're going to put those players at on the court. Mm-hmm. C, coaches help out with front office stuff. I don't know if people really know that much, but coaches really help out with front office stuff. When it comes to draft picks, trades, all that, they really help out with front office stuff. And I think we saw that with people like Eric Spoelstra when even after LeBron and D Wade left, he took his team to the finals. Mm-hmm. And he has never won a Coach of the Year. And this team looks really bad right now, so that was a bad example. Yeah. But yeah, I think teams like that are, I don't think it's fair to say he's a bad coach just because you haven't really seen him need to coach. People said the same thing about Billy Donovan when it was Paul George, Carmelo, and Russ, and then when Paul George hit 3 game winners in a row. They were like, oh, wow, Billy Donovan really knew how to drill and play for Paul George hit that shot. You gotta know, you can't just say he's a bad coach just because he has 3 Hall of Famers on the team,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So very fair too.
You're really not gonna have that. People are not gonna analyze it as well just because you have those type of people on the team as well. But circling back a little bit, I think Coach of the Year might be Doc Rivers for real, just because
this team is
he's done really good job with Philadelphia. Just put them on an extra level. And you can see that they like him as well. And maybe he was not the issue of the Clippers team last year. Who knows at this point? I mean, when your starting player is your daughter's ex-boyfriend, that's gotta be kind of interesting.
If you're mature enough and you're good enough of a professional, it won't be an issue.
That is true. But
he's coaching his son-in-law, I think Doc Rivers. I think Doc Rivers has always had somebody in his family tree in the NBA, from Austin Rivers to Paul George to Steph Curry. Somebody is just related to that man some way in the league. It's just funny.
That's kind of crazy. It's weird. Yeah. And this is the big conversation that's been happening since week 2 of the league, because that's all they have to talk about. MVP. And why is it Joel Embiid?
You keep telling me this, You tell me Embiid MVP. But something that Zach mentioned earlier is that Steph is right about his unanimous MVP numbers right now. Mm-hmm. So that's something to bear in mind as well. Mm-hmm. The Warriors can win enough. That's some competition for Joel Embiid right there. Mm-hmm. But I'll let you guys continue with this part of the conversation.
I was thinking, so a couple weeks ago, Joel was my clear and what's the crazy thing is I'm not a big Joel Embiid fan at all.
Be honest, you're not. Don't say you're not a big one. You're not a Joel Embiid fan.
I'm not a Joel Embiid fan. Okay, I was just trying to be a little nice. I'm not even a Philadelphia fan, if I'm being completely honest. I don't like Ben Simmons, but that's another story. But a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a couple of games and I was just like, this man is crazy. What? He's just playing really insane. But then now everyone else is getting in the groove and etc. You talk about Steph, and then you have that LeBron playing in his, I don't remember which year, his 15th year. Oh, I don't know this.
I guess longer than that.
16th year?
2003.
Yeah, so this is 17th season.
17th
18th season.
18th season, yeah.
That's crazy.
He's almost at the point where he's been an NBA player longer than he's been not an NBA player.
Right. So that's half his life. That's a crazy stat to think about. That's a really crazy stat to think about.
He was drafted
and he's looking like a player who's approaching their prime. You know, it's ridiculous. Yes. It's ridiculous.
So,
of course, he's in the conversation. Depends
always
how.
In the conversation.
If LeBron can win an MVP closer to 40 than he is to 30, it's just something else. It's just something else.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Big facts. And then I think who else? They brought up Joe. Oh my gosh. Why can I say this man? Yes. Why am I butchering this man's name? I'm sorry. They brought him
Joker.
up, but they're like, I think that really depends on how the Nuggets like end off the regular season for sure.
True.
Because they're kind of wishy-washy.
We'll see how it goes. But the interesting thing about him is that like he puts up these crazy stats, but when you watch him play, because he's so large, a lot of his plays they're not very fun to watch. They kind of just happen. The plays just happen. Yeah.
Slow, so it's like it's not a fun thing to watch when
But he's dominant.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's slow and like calculated, and then it's like, and then one
like, how do you stop it?
It's crazy.
It's like really, a slow moving truck. It's still a truck.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so Zach, you're like MVPs.
So, like you, Camilla, I'm not a fan of the Jazz or the 76ers. That's another story for another day. But Joel Embiid, LeBron James, and who would be a third? Kevin Durant has been playing good too.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it.
Kevin Durant doesn't play like someone that came off like a career-ending injury.
Right.
That's the craziest thing.
You know what? That's very true. He has been very sharp since returning to the floor, and you can hardly tell that he was down for any time or not.
Right. And it doesn't really, you can't really see it because he hasn't played in a long time, like a couple games he's missed, and then B, they have a lot of other things going on in Brooklyn that kind of like doesn't shed the light on what he's been doing. So
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But I'm excited to see who gets MVP though, for real.
I mean, the crazy thing is we spoke about Bradley Beal earlier, and just knowing that he doesn't stand a chance because the team doesn't win. It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if he was on a winning team, he could easily be in a conversation as well.
Mm-hmm. And like, they didn't even have to be like a winning team. They would just have to like win more games than they're winning now.
Exactly. Because Russell Westbrook won MVP on a 5-seed team,
Right.
So it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta be an average
Thunder legend.
Thunder legend,
Russell. We love Russell. Okay, so this is the most
thing. No, I'll let you go ahead. But I was just thinking about the fact that he's on the Wizards as well. So they have talent, It's just not working.
They have Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Some talent. That's a lot of talent right there, but it's just not enough across the board, I guess.
We need front court. I mean, I guess they have Mo Wagner, right?
Still, yeah, he's pretty not bad. I like him on 2K. I like him on 2K. He's really
I mean, the last time I remember hearing about him, he was good-ish.
He was playing for the Lakers.
Yeah, he was good.
Almost a Thunder legend.
Just be like it. So we're gonna go to, I want to say, the most controversial part of this season, but it's still giving me a little head scratcher. Why are we having an all-star game?
I mean,
in Atlanta.
Well, they have fans. They have fans back in Atlanta, so there's that.
A place that doesn't believe the pandemic is real. Have you guys not seen Atlanta?
You said that. I did it. However, yeah, you ain't gonna make these people come for me. Atlanta, I don't want anybody from Atlanta coming for me.
Okay, but it's literally everyone who lives in Atlanta on my timeline talking about Atlanta doesn't believe the pandemic is real. They got strip clubs open. Everything is open in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's it. There's too much going on in Atlanta for them to have 25 plus players fly out there for a week. Like, go to have the All-Star game in Portland. Have the All-Star game in Utah. Have the All-Star
game in Oklahoma City. Utah.
Like something where there are no distractions, where they don't even get tempted to do anything outside of being in the arena. I don't even think we're gonna have an All-Star game. That's just my opinion, but
well, they weren't going to, and I was accepting the fact that there would be no All-Star game this year. And then the news came out that they would be having an All-Star game, and I was like, this looks unsafe because your reasoning for not having the All-Star game was the pandemic. I have not seen the situation improve. I've seen it get worse. And then you decide, oh, you know what, we actually can't have the All-Star game. I'm not sure what the rationale behind that was. I really don't know. I'm trying not to question it too much. Might give myself a headache. I'll just leave them to it. I hope for the best. I hope, it doesn't result in a catastrophe. Don't want to be too pessimistic about it, but at the same time, it's like you had your reasons for not having it. I'm not sure what your reasons are for changing your mind at this point. But let's just see what happens.
And you know what's the crazy thing about it? Your league MVP and Giannis and the person everyone in the league looks up to in LeBron, like LeBron sneezed, the league get cold. That's just how powerful he is. They're both like, no, they don't care for the All-Star game.
Right.
So if your two faces of your league are like, nah, we don't want to do this, why are you doing it?
And those are the people that are going to headline the All-Star game too. Like people like LeBron, Giannis, and even Kawhi spoke out against the All-Star game.
Kawhi spoke? Sorry. I haven't heard from him in a while.
He did. He didn't like the idea of it. And it's
that's crazy.
LeBron, I think he tweeted 61 days or 71 days or something like that, saying how long he had from winning his championship to the beginning of the season. That was his vacation. That was his break. That short amount of time. For them to also say, oh yeah, you're going to have to play in this game too. That doesn't matter towards anything. He said it's like a slap in the face, which is we can still have the All-Star selection, so we can
obviously have the selection, and sim the game on 2K or something. I don't care.
So yeah, exactly.
Didn't they do the Pro Bowl like that?
The Pro Bowl's always been bad. So
I think they did. Well, it doesn't matter. The Pro Bowl isn't great, but they did the Pro Bowl on Madden, I think, or something like that.
Something like that, I think. So.
All them man have 2K, just tell them plug it. All of them have PS5. John Morant has 5. Just tell them plug in a PS5.
Honestly.
And just let's go.
Because what if they do that
21?
They did 2K for something right when COVID happened.
I think in the summer. Oh yeah, they were just doing 2K leagues with different players and stuff.
Yeah, they had
and I think Booker won.
Yeah.
I think. So
Devin Booker should be an all-star.
Definitely should be.
I remember last year. Yeah, but I remember last year, everybody was, well, not everybody, but a lot of people were really trying to push for Devin Booker to be an all-star. And then he didn't make the selection initially. And a lot of people were upset. But then he got a chance to get in because there was a player who couldn't play.
Yeah.
But
I forget who
Throwback Thursday.
I think it was Dame that gave him his spot, right?
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay, yeah.
Dame told them, you better give it to Devin Booker.
Devin
because
Booker
people were it was between Dame and Devin Booker. And this is when the Suns were doing good and the Trailblazers were doing bad. And they were like, oh, so the easy pick should be Devin Booker, but no, it wasn't.
That's crazy. That is so crazy. So who's your starting five for East West? I'm just letting you guys know that Zach's starting five for the West is 90% Thunder.
That was just my votes. That was just my votes.
Is it?
Yeah. Also, I think we should change the way the All-Star game is done. I think so there won't be any snubs. Just three three spots for each position. So 3 point guards, 3 shooting guards, power forwards, centers, small forwards. Instead of having like front court, back court, because you have people like DeMar DeRozan, who for some reason, I don't think he's going to be All-Star, but for some reason the Spurs are playing him at power forward.
So then
shooting guard all his life.
Yeah, so then he ends up front court.
Right. If he was to make it. He probably isn't going to make it, but
why are they playing him as a power forward?
Because Greg Popovich is the GOAT and he knows what he's doing.
That is true. I will never crush him. Never crush him again.
We talk about Coach of the Year and Greg didn't come up, I think. But no, this man has been a consistently great coach. He's been an elite force for that franchise.
Yeah.
For probably as long as I've been alive and longer.
Exactly.
Yeah. 97. Yep.
Yeah.
Since 1997?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's as long as you've been alive for sure.
Me? Oh, well, yeah. I was like, how old am I? What? I don't know how old I am. Yeah, but we gotta love the All-Star game. But we've been talking for a while, so we're gonna make a slight transition.
Mm-hmm.
Shamar is not gonna understand this transition, but it's okay
because you're going to Shocker basketball.
Yes. But you'll be thoroughly entertained because I have things to get off my chest. Okay. But Zach, how do you feel about the Wichita State Shockers? Number 2 in the American.
Yeah, I think we got to be honest. Isaac Brown, if there's like a college basketball coach of the year, which there is, I think Isaac Brown would be like in the running because for this man to take over a team weeks before like the head coach resigned, it's ridiculous that he's sitting number 2 in a conference that has very good basketball teams. He only lost so far only 4 games, and those games are to a team that has what might be the number 1 overall pick, a team that was ranked number 10 when they played against them, and 2 losses on the road to very good Memphis and Houston teams. So, I think it says a lot about what he's been able to do with the program, with the turnover of players, bringing a lot of new players, and gaining their trust. Because I think it's very easy to not trust a new coach, especially in college, because he's not the one that recruited you. He's not the one that, he wasn't the determining factor. Odds are Greg Marshall was the person that you were coming to play for.
Yep.
But yeah, it's got no matter what happens at the end of the year, Isaac Brown is a great coach. He should get that,
permanent position,
full-time position. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if anyone that's in Wichita will pay attention to Shocker basketball, do not believe that Isaac Brown should be our official head coach. You hate black people. Full stop. That's the end of the sentence. You just hate
Black History Month. That's not Black History Month.
Exactly. You cannot hate on the king of Mississippi. I call him that because he has the heaviest Southern accent I've heard in a minute. I was just like, okay, Coach Brown, I don't know what you're saying, but I agree. I'm supporting you 110%. It's great. We're 10-4. We're predicted to be like 7 in the league. So the fact that we're like number 2, we lost to Houston, was like ranked number 8th nationally. And we lost them by 5 points. I think the only really bad loss we have was that loss to Memphis.
I think Oklahoma State was also a bad loss just because you did stop Cade Cunningham. And Dexter did a good job. Dexter did a really good job
stopping Cade Cunningham until point something seconds left on the clock, and he made the game-winning 3.
He made the only like part of the game that people talk about, you know.
Yeah, wasn't that like his like only made shot of the game or something that?
I think he only had like 2 made field goals before that.
Yeah, so he was playing really bad the entire game, and just like, it's time to win.
Shoot. And that's when Dwayne Wade and everyone comes tweeting about, you know, Cade Cunningham.
That's sad. That's sad. They really do treat us bad, though. They treat us bad on the ESPN highlights. So for example, let me tell you how ESPN treats Shocker basketball bad. During the NBA draft, when they were showing Precious Achiuwa, who plays for the Heat now, great player by the way, they were showing his highlights. They decided to show the highlights. Most of his highlights was that one game against us at home, which is crazy because we won that game. He just was playing really good. Yeah. And they were just showing highlights of like our best defender just getting skated around. And I was just like, this is disrespectful. Like, he couldn't treat us better than this. Like, come on, guys. Right. They played so many other teams last season. But yeah, I do like Shocker basketball. My only issue, I would say this is not even a small issue. This is a big issue. We don't know how to rebound. And that's not good.
Yeah.
Because the last couple of our games been really close just because we don't know how to get rebounds. And I need them to start learning how to get. I don't know what drill. Like,
they're not boxing out or something.
They're not boxing out, and they're not. We don't get offensive rebounds. We don't get defensive rebounds.
Yeah, that's a fundamental right there. If they start boxing out, you probably see a turnaround almost immediately.
Yeah, we do need to start that.
Speak to the coach.
Yes, I'll coach for Coach Road.
Yeah, Morris is doing good at the beginning of the year. He was looking really nice. And he still looks nice, but he just, we don't.
Yeah, like, no, I'm not going to sit on record. It's kind of mean. I had like a statement on how Morris should have played, but that's kind of mean record statement. I don't want to, they're going to beat me up. I don't need that. I'll tell you guys.
I did some research the other day during halftime of the UCF game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a team out there that has like 4 or 5 losses and like 12, 13, 14 wins. And, their starting center is leading them in points and rebounds. And it's the Grand Canyon.
Yes!
I forget what their mascot is.
Grand Canyon University. I don't remember the name of their team.
Yes.
But
they started off with only 1 loss out of like 9 games. And
big up to okay, so Shamar, this is why I'm super excited because that person that is leading, he was a former member of the Shocker basketball team. He transferred. He was a part of that big exodus of everyone leaving us last semester.
I remember you were telling me about that one. Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Ashbourne Mint Guard.
Shout out to him. He's been doing
what a great guy. Oh honestly. He's a big man, by the way.
He's a huge man. I saw him in person like probably 4 or 5 times, and every time I'm like, did you get taller? Because this is ridiculous. Like,
no, I think I had a class with him, I think. I had a class with him. I had a math class with him, and he walked into the class, and my teacher was like, whoa, that's a big man. And he was like, you damn right. I was like, okay. Yes, I appreciate it. But he's really huge, and I'm so proud that he's.
What position does he play again?
Center.
He plays center. He's 7 feet tall, center.
Oh, 7 foot. Okay, that's definitely a big man.
He's like 7 foot tall, but he's also like over like 250. Like he's big.
He's Steven Adams.
Basically.
Okay, yeah, I got.
He's like Steven Adams from Denmark.
Yeah.
He's a really big guy. I get it.
Really big guy. And it's like a good person too. And I think if we had him this year, we probably would have won a couple more games. But
I forgot like our freshman year, how many centers we had.
We had freshman year.
We had so many centers. We had Morris. We had him. Jamie.
Yeah.
You said Asborn. We had Isaiah. And we had
what's somebody else?
We had one more. I remember we had one more. So everybody would talk, like all those commentators would talk about how we had this like 3-headed monster of big men.
No, we had the 4 freshman year, and then our sophomore year, that's when they recruited Josephat.
Yeah.
Because
then that made it 5.
Yeah, that made it 5. But Josephat was redshirted. So we still technically had like 4. And then now we only have like 1.5 because they don't even consider Isaiah as a center anymore because he lost weight. So they put him as a 4 instead of a 5 most of the time.
Because he can knock down the shot every now and then. So.
Yeah. He made a couple of threes. I was like, okay, I see.
Yeah, he's nice with it.
Doing his thing. So we went from 4 bigs to 1.5 in like 3 years. Well, okay. Josephat still plays center, but he's not a dominant big at this moment anymore.
Is Zach still with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I wasn't sure.
We do love Shocker basketball, but we do have to work on the rebounding. I think our guard play continues to be good, which is so crazy to me. Like we lose so much guards and then we're still good.
Still good. Shout out to Tyson. Shout out to Ricky. You know, doing their thing.
Oh my God, doing their thing. Tyson is a sick fellow. That man.
Oh yeah.
Shamar, let me tell you about Tyson, right?
All right,
he would come to the game, first half. He's like, he plays with 2 guards. So he doesn't handle the ball as much, but leading scorer, averages over 20 points a game. Leading scorer of the conference. Just
crazy. Nice.
And gets the ball. These last couple of games, they've just been double teaming him, all kind of craziness. He gets the ball into the middle, to the center, to the side. Everyone knocks down a shot. It's cool. So by the time we go to the half, the commentator is like, yes, we need to get Tyson involved. He has like single-digit points, blah, blah, blah. By the end of the game, he somehow always has 20-something points. The second half of every game is just like, I'll knock down a 3. I knock down a 3. I knock down a 3. And he shoots Damian Lillard style threes.
Yeah, like, so these are regular threes. These are deep threes. These are like
deep threes.
He's like halfway between the arc and the logo shooting a 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like and these are like early in the shot clocks too. These are just like,
he's like, I'm just gonna disrespect the defense.
Just so disrespectful. I was like, you're crazy. Like just going on and he just pulls up and it like most of the time it goes in. And I'm just like, okay, we win a game. But sometimes it just throws me off sometimes because it's like, this is not everyone should be doing this. So
he wants you in suspense. He wants you to be on the edge of your seat.
Gotta be.
He's like, I'm not gonna score too much just yet. After the halftime break, I'm gonna ball out.
Yeah, and sometimes he yells at himself on the court. I just be like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I was like, do your thing.
If it
Two
works
things
for you.
Tyson will do. He will yell at himself or he will drink his Pedialyte on the bench. He will do that.
Yes. That is so true. Like he just this big bottle of Pedialyte, just drink.
Shout out to Pedialyte, sponsor the next podcast.
Yes, I would love that. I would love sponsorships. But yeah, Sharker basketball is good. Tyson is crazy. We have this new player. He plays. What is his position? What is Monzi's position? I don't remember.
I have no idea.
I think he plays the 3 or the 4.
Honestly, I think Isaac is just sending people out there that know how to score and play defense. He doesn't care about any positions. He doesn't care about tall, weight.
How tall, small, doesn't care. Clarence Monzy Jackson is another one that's like, he's not like one of the higher scorers, but one thing about him, he will get the ball. So he will be in the like under the rim with like three players from other teams, and he will somehow injure someone and get the ball.
You said injure.
Maybe. Just a little push. But he will get the ball. Like, and he will get the foul and go to the line. And when he started off, he wasn't that great with free throws, but he's like newer. So like he's gotten better with his free throws over the games progress, which is wonderful because we've never been the greatest free throw shooting team, at least since we've been here. But he's crazy. And I like it. And, you know, he plays that tough, gritty, like old school style of basketball. He just jumps to the rim, crash boards, just box out. It's like elbows in your face. You will be hurt after defending him because he doesn't care. And he also yells at himself as well. They all yell at themselves. I don't know. But yeah.
Seems to be a walk-in technique.
Yeah, it's working.
So other players just need to yell at themselves about grabbing the rebounds, and you'll be complete.
You'll be complete, and we'll go to and we'll win conference, and we'll go to the tournament. That's the future I see for us.
So I'm now a vicarious Shockers fan.
Yes, as you should.
We're fun team to watch.
We don't play anytime soon. Damn. I was about to say we play tomorrow, but we don't.
You can watch the highlights from other games, you know.
Yeah, you can watch the highlights.
Man, for sure.
I'll send you highlights.
Just link me, Cam. Yeah, man.
I'll send you highlights. But that's the other side rant before we wrap this up. The American needs to fix these COVID issues. We have 3 teams paused because of COVID issues.
It's because American is the only conference that isn't like close to each other. Like literally all the other conferences are close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like true. Big 12 is Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, maybe Iowa, West Virginia, but like no other conference is as spread out as the American. You got teams in Florida, you got teams in Ohio, teams in Maryland, you got teams in is there a team in New York?
No, Philly.
There's no team. Team in Pennsylvania, you know, all these different states and stuff. It's like that's a lot of traveling and you know.
They just be catching COVID and I just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to play SMU. So they're stationed in Dallas. That's Southern Methodist University. Supposed to be playing Memphis, Tennessee. And we're supposed to be playing someone else shut down?
East Carolina.
So they in North Carolina. Those are like our 3 next games. They're all paused for COVID.
Oh, that's rough.
So I don't think
Houston. We got Houston on the 25th.
On the 25th. So we're not playing. We're not playing anything. I have Uniting Bull Sisters. I'm sad. So we're not playing any game until probably that Houston game. Probably.
Hey.
I think we play another game before that. So yeah. So that's kind of the issue with COVID and just anything and just it's crazy. But we love Shocker basketball. We will win the American. We will find a way to beat Memphis if we have to play Memphis. We've figured out our Cincinnati Kryptonite, so that's great. They're also kind of trash this season. So
is Jared Cumberland still there?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
they graduated.
That was the kryptonite right there.
Yeah, Jared Cumberland. Whew. I did not like that man just because he just always used to just destroy us. Anyways, it was so sad. It made me cry every time we played Cincinnati. And then, so yeah, if we beat Memphis and we find somehow to beat Houston, who is the number 8 team in the country, that's it. We're in the league.
Shout out to all the black coaches. Shout out to all the black coaches in the NCAA right now. They do what they think. I didn't realize until like this year. There's a lot of black coaches.
Love that.
A lot of them in the top 25 too.
You got Wichita State, Oklahoma State, Tulane, Houston, I think.
Yeah, with Kevin
Houston,
Thompson.
Memphis, obviously. There's a lot of black coaches out there.
And then you got Texas with Shaka.
I forget his
You
black.
got Temple. Well, Temple ain't doing that really great, but we got Temple.
But yeah, watching the games where you realize there's a lot of black versus black coaches, which is really cool.
We're finally getting the stuff that we deserve. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up soon, and the way we're wrapping this up, we're going back to the NBA. And our fun interactive question for the podcast is, who are your top 3 basketball players in the league right now? And then there was silence.
Okay, Zach, you want to take your pause?
Okay.
Actually, no. You know what? I'm sorry to cut you off. I'll take it as a casual fan pause, and then we can end on your deeper analytical note, right? But I decided to take this question from a slightly different angle than I think it was intended. Reason being, because I think a lot of the same names would naturally come up in answering this question anyway. So rather than going for the top 3 teams in the league overall per se, once again, I pick players off my fantasy team. And the reason for choosing these players are because, again, these are players who I feel are outperforming at a level that, definitely outshines their draft position. They're playing at a level beyond a lot of people's expectations. And those 3 people for me are, once again, Chris Boucher, mentioning him for the 3rd time, Seth Curry, and Terry Rozier. And those really, really been playing at a high level this season. They've been exceeding expectations. They've been playing better than seasons gone by. I saw a post yesterday actually talking about Seth Curry, saying that he's on pace to being the first ever member of the 50-50-100 club. 50% field goal, 50% three-point shooting, 100% free throws. I don't know how likely it is for him to keep up 100% free throws, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, he really has been a very, very efficient player. His scoring output this season is the highest ever thus far that he's had, I think. And again, Rozier, just out there being scary Terry.
Terry.
Yeah, man, he's really been putting up some really big numbers on a consistent basis. Just a lot of 20 plus point games for him. Getting assists as well. So that's really cool. And as I mentioned before, Chris Boucher, doing well offensively and defensively. He's getting some of the most blocks in the league. I'm not sure where he ranks right now in blocks, but at one point, he was definitely in like the top 2 or 3 for blocks per game. So, he's doing the thing there. So that's my top 3 right now. Chris Boucher, Seth Curry, Terry Rozier. Again, not top 3 overall. Just 3 people on my fantasy team who I think are exceeding expectations.
Also, side note, know how great it must be to be Wardell Curry Sr. right now? With your 2 children in the league, just
and they're both
going crazy.
Just some of the best,
and your son-in-law
to have ever played the game.
And your son-in-law played pretty well too. Hey.
Also balling out.
That's crazy. Zach, your top 3.
So yeah, I did something similar where it wasn't like the best 3 players. I knew we would talk about the best 3. I just did like my favorite 3 of this year so far.
Mm-hmm.
So oddly enough, they're also all on my fantasy team. So number 1 is Karl Anthony Towns. Even though he hasn't played a lot this year, I still think that he has the potential to be as good as any other player in this league. I think once he gets healthy, gets his mind right, he could be number 1 and number 2 as far as big men in the league. But yeah, he decided to play that much this year. He's gone through a lot, so I still think he is one of the best players in the league. Number 2 would be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's really been balling out, like I said, for the Thunder. Even when we lose games, we still look good because Shai's still going to put up his points. Shai's going to dish out his assists. He's going to play really good basketball. And, I hope he can make the All-Star game this year. I don't think he will, but, he has my vote. And my 3rd one is Dennis Schroeder. I think just like Jeremy Grant, where they both were like, I want to take on the starting role, I want to take on the more important role. I thought Dennis Schroeder was really gonna do great in LA, and he's doing great so far. I think he solidified himself as a great starting point guard. I think he could have been a starting point guard last year if he wanted to be. Just because he has that talent, he can do whatever you need him to do. And gotta have a Thunder legend on my top 3 list. So, yeah.
Thank you for Dennis, by the way. We appreciate Dennis Schroeder over there in Lakers Nation. We do. Yeah. We do appreciate him a lot. My top 3, it's just natural. I always have to start off with Brandon Ingram, just because. So people might be like, "Oh, you just say that because you really like him." I'm like, yes, but 2, he's also a really, really good basketball player, and I've been a fan of him since that 1 year in Duke. So I feel like I've been through this journey with him. Like this is our journey as a Brandon Ingram fan, and he's playing really good. I really like him in New Orleans with the Pelicans and just development and player and all of that stuff. He's putting up ridiculous numbers still as well. I'm like, okay, cool, doing your thing. My second would be Jaylen Brown, which is weird because he's a Celtic. That's just ugh. But Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have been playing really, really good. But I focus more on Jaylen Brown just because so many people didn't really expect that he was gonna be good. We should have put him in topic for most improved. Wow.
Well,
wow.
Fair enough.
He's always been like good.
Yeah.
But like he was never like, when I think of most improved, I think of a player that went from like
thinking of a drastic jump.
Right.
He's getting better consistently. So like his improvements on this season had put him, in some of the top caliber players. Mm-hmm. But he was also really good last season as well.
Yeah, that is true. He almost made an All-Star game last year.
Right.
But
that's true. But Jaylen Brown, just how he like commands the game and everything that he does, he's like, you can see he's a very fundamental type of player and how he just maps out how he's gonna go to the basket, how he's gonna do things.
And he's always smiling. Things don't go well, he's still smiling.
He's like, okay, great.
He's that guy. He's that guy. He's like, oh, that didn't work out. That's fine. We'll get him on.
That's fine. I'll score on you next time, and then I'll shoot a shot over Ben Simmons and call this man that's ridiculously taller than me small man.
Yeah,
okay. I see you.
Enough. Can't guard me.
I think I see you, Jalen. And I think my last one probably be Karl Anthony Towns again, just because I've always liked him as a player and as a person as well in general. He's really good. He does have that potential when he like fully dedicates himself everything back to the league to be one of the top players in the league again. He's just been through it this last year.
Yeah, really sending some well wishes out to him because it's just been a lot. There's a lot for him. So I hope that things around him can improve and he can manage well with all the situations that he has to deal with, and he's able to perform at the high level that we know he can.
Definitely. All love, all heart goes out to Karl Anthony Towns, other West Indian legend. We claim him because his mom is from the DR.
He was born in the DR.
Yeah. The West Indian legend. Love it.
We'll take it.
And may his mom rest in peace as well. And with that, we end this episode 4 of us ranting about basketball for a very long time. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I hope you took something. I hope you took something like important from it.
Yeah, I'm a Shockers fan now.
Yes! Go Shock! Wait, you have to know how to do the sign. Okay,
show me the... That's it? Oh, that's it? Yeah? That's the right thing, is it?
So like when you're at games, so when you go at games, you say, rip them up, tear them up, let's go Shocks. Shocker chants are very violent, by the way.
Rip them up, tear them up, let's go Shockers?
Yes. Let's go Shocks.
Let's go Shocks. That sounds like a very, very, very West Indian chant.
But You know what's crazy though? We
What?
have very violent chants for someone's mascots. That is a bundle of wheat.
A bundle of wheat.
I am so serious.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it. It's really a bundle of wheat.
I just
rip them up, tear them up. Let's go Sharks. You sure?
That is the word.
Sure that's not a West Indian team? Because no, think about it.
One of our players does have Bahamian roots, by the way. So we might as well.
Who?
Jaden Seymour.
I don't even know who that is. Sorry to that man.
I hope for their sake they don't listen to this and attack me.
Wait, what? You got it wrong, did you?
No, he doesn't know who that is. He's a freshman, that's why.
Man.
I mean, he played like 2 games. I think
big up to the Bahamian and the Sharks.
I mean,
big up to the 2-4.
Shout out.
I mean, shout out to him.
Yeah.
This ended at a weird note. Hey, jokes all around. I'm keeping all of this in because this is funny.
Hey man, that's fun. But again, thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. It was fun,
Great time.
Yeah, man, for sure. Nice to meet you, Zach. Maybe
nice to meet you too, Shamar.
Maybe when the pandemic isn't as much of a factor in our lives, there'll be an in-person meeting at some point. But this is cool.
Yes, I am bringing all of my friends from up here to St. Martin and Angola. So
yeah, man. You could bring them to St. Martin, and I could take the boat. Zach, fun fact: I can see St. Martin from my window.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah,
it's like
St. Martin are really close. So
what? 20-minute boat ride?
Yeah, just about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on the sea conditions. But yeah, it's really, really close. Really close.
Yeah.
There's not much
Shamar.
of that happening right now. Again.
Yeah. Shamar, I miss your floor. I miss your floor. I miss
the floor misses you too. The floor misses you too.
Yeah. So like when we go over and we have go over for carnival and stuff. And we turn
I rearrange the room so there's a lot more open floor space.
There's more floor to sleep on?
Like 30 of us could sleep on the floor.
Oh my gosh. The next Eyes Wide Shut where outside people can attend will be great. I'll be there. I'll be there. But we're going to wrap up this episode. Thank you for listening to episode 4 with Zach, with Shamar, and with me. And we'll see you next time. Bye.